Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com, your pricing concierge. Today, we're discussing a lovely G series, 41mm white gold and stainless steel Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust II. This is the reference 116334. Part of a series made from 2009 to 2015. It is the big Datejust, and it is the largest Datejust. As you can see, 41 millimeters in diameter. It is nevertheless a fairly svelte watch, as it measures 12.2 millimeters thick, so it's identical to a Daytona in that regard. It is 49.5 millimeters from lug to lug. We'll get close again so you can see detail, and that is the distance from lug to lug, 49.5 millimeters. But from end link to end link, the absolute distance across the wrist is 50.8 millimeters, with a contemporary 21 millimeters spacing between the lugs. I'll throw this watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you'll get a good sense of how it wears. It's broad. It's very flat. You begin to really comprehend just what a cushion case design the Rolex Oyster is. We often discuss it as a round case. It's really more of a cushion, and that comes across when the watch is as broad and as flat as the Datejust II. On my wrist, you can see that it's not really near the edge of my wrist. I think you could wear this watch on a wrist down to 14 centimeters circumference, but smaller than that, you're going to want to seek out a Datejust 36. The watch is low enough to fit underneath the dress cuff, and you can easily see that with a sloped white gold bezel, it will slide underneath the dress cuff quite easily. It uses a 3-link Oyster bracelet, polished centers, satin shoulders, a little bit of a taper built in, polished outer faces, removable links fixed by screws. There is a lift lock system. There's a beacon to hook, and you can see how they latch, and so you do need to lift to unlock it. It's not a friction fit system. The clasp is internally polished. Externally, we have a raised rather than embossed crown, as this is an upscale Rolex model, not entry level. You can see the removable links, and then you can see that there's an easy link system. This is 5 millimeters in, 5 millimeters out, no need for tools. It's the equivalent of adding or removing one sizable link. You can also see internally that there are 3 divots, and you can use your strap tool to change the anchoring point of the bracelet inside the clasp using those 3 divots and your strap tool. Tolerances for the clasp remain excellent. As you can see, the case definition is superb. The metal is full. This watch has led a charmed existence. It is a lovely and fluid form. It has a lot more in common with the Yachtmasters and the Daytonas than it does with any of the GMTs, subs, or Sea Dwellers. This is not the super case. Rolex makes its own cases, bracelets, clasps. It smelts its own gold, and it makes its own steel. The steel is special. It's 904L. It is tremendously anti-corrosive, meaning, Rolex likes to say, you can immerse it in salt water, and there is no need to rinse, unlike conventional 316 steel, which can eventually, given that treatment, start to corrode. The white gold is also Rolex's own. They make it at their foundry. It is gray gold. So you can see how it's not quite as silvery white as the case. That is because gray gold does not need to be rhodium plated. It is a warm 18-karat white gold alloy that is white all the way through, so if you scratch it, there's no different color underneath. And you can see this bezel still has superb definition all the way around. The dial underneath sapphire, that's less domed than it is slightly boxed. It is a sunburst blue and lovely with radially arrayed white gold Roman numerals, including a watchmaker's 4. There's a railroad seconds and minutes track outboard, white on blue printing. It feels, as large as this dial is, that the Cyclops eye breathes a little better. It doesn't dominate the watch's face the way it does on the 36mm and smaller watches. And of course, the crown, the numerals, and the hands, all of white gold to resist oxidation and tarnish over time. You can also see that the printing doesn't quite fill up this larger dial the way it does with the smaller Datejust models. Underneath the solid Oyster caseback, we have caliber 3136. It is a special model based on the 3135. It was only ever used in this watch. Automatic winding, bidirectional action, 31 joules, 4 hertz beat rate, stop seconds, quick set date, 48-hour power reserve, COSC certified Swiss chronometer, and it features an overcoil hairspring, a Breguet overcoil made by hand, so that the watch will keep even time in any physical position with respect to gravity. It has a centered mass about its hairspring, so it will beat concentrically and keep good time in any position, and that's important for a watch that lives on a wrist. The watch also features a full balance bridge and a free sprung index so that it is more shock resistant. It can be adjusted precisely, and it will vary less due to shock than a watch that might have a mobile stud index. So it is a very tough movement, and of course, being chronometer certified, very accurate as well. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Rolex Datejust II.